Bullets were strewn on the floor next to Neil's 9mm revolver, the gun Ginny demanded he hide just 2 days earlier so their son wouldn't play with it. But it was too late. Words were impossible, feelings immeasurable. They both tugged at the small boy's frame, begging for his life, but he was long gone. And so began the longest day of their lives. Introduction. The story you've just heard is horrific, a fatal mistake. It's hard to believe that such things happen, yet they do more times than we can imagine. I have chosen this particular story because, although it is not the typical situation in which parents lose a child, it is one that has always stayed with me. There were so many layers of guilt, accusation, and shame emanating from Ginny and Neil when they came to me as clients that it was difficult to bring their son through to them. Not only were they still deep in grief over losing Ben, but I'm sure they were running the blame game over and over in their heads. Ginny was blaming Neil for not hiding the gun in a safe place like she had asked him, while at the same time feeling guilty for leaving the boys alone. Neil was blaming Ginny for leaving the boys unattended and feeling guilty for not locking up his gun. They both felt responsible for Ben's death and also felt that they had let each other down. They were going through the motion of being alive, but they were both so shut down, they seemed almost as dead as their son. When Ben came through, he had so much love and forgiveness for his parents. He tried to give them their lives back. He pleaded with them to accept his forgiveness and to forgive each other. I remember how ironic it was to hear a child say to his parents, "You have your whole lives ahead of you still. Don't keep messing them up." When Neil and Ginny left my home, I knew they were relieved that Ben had come through, but I also knew that they were caught up in whose fault it was, that they just could not get over that enormous hurdle. I heard later through mutual friends that they divorced. It saddened me that the love and forgiveness that Ben had demonstrated from the other side wasn't enough to keep his parents together. Divorce was the last thing Ben would have wanted for Ginny and Neil. Instead of honoring their son by creating something positive out of their tragedy, like working for gun control, they perpetuated their guilt. They missed an opportunity to turn their mistake into a gift to the world by possibly stopping a similar tragedy from befalling another family. In an alternative scenario, Ginny and Neil would have stayed together, lectured to others about handgun safety, had more children, and let their love grow. Imagine how happy Ben would be to know his death was not in vain. That is why I have written this book. I have learned a lot from the other side about how to live life, and I am continually amazed by what the spirit world has to say. Over the past 25 years, I have shared spirit stories through my books and demonstrations, but I am often disappointed that a spirit's advice goes unheeded. People are usually amazed when I get evidential details, like a name or death scenario, correct, but when a spirit offers guidance, its counsel frequently falls on deaf ears. You see, when people shed their physical bodies at death, their spiritual selves see life from a whole new perspective. It's as if they've had LASIK surgery. They can finally do without their glasses and can see more clearly. Spirits understand why certain situations had to happen. They are able to recognize the value of others, even their enemies, and what they had to learn from them. They also realize how they could have skipped certain mistakes by not letting their egos get in the way. After crossing into the light, spirits are eager to share their newfound knowledge with the living. I am fortunate enough to be a beneficiary of many spirits' wisdom and guidance, and I am happy to share their insights with you. So many of us obsess about the one thing that is out of our control, the past. It's the old should've, could've, would've approach to life. We have regrets about our jobs, our family, our money, our decisions, and our happiness. The only power we have is in the now, and our now affects our future. We have become a society with less self-responsibility and more blame. When something goes wrong, we seek others, or God, to blame for our misfortune. When a tragedy occurs, we become angry and guilt-ridden instead of seeing the opportunity to create good from it. We replay emotional